How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Winners Club podcast. Now, if you are new here, you can hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you're always notified of the Winners Club content. And to find the audio versions of this podcast, the links will be down below in the description, as well as all of our socials. Now, we hope you'll have a lovely day and a great week. Let's get into today's episode.
And we're live.
All right, fellas. What are we talking about today?
Fulfillment with purpose.
Okay, Brett, start it off.
Yeah, no, so I think everyone, on this planet has a purpose, whether they know it or not. But I think also another thing, too, that I want to bring up is I think people sort of stick to one purpose, and that's, like, it. They don't they're in that, like, box, but they don't try and go outside the box necessarily. And I think you can have multiple purposes. It's just one purpose has to close for another one to open. And I just thought that was interesting. And I just want to bring up, like, how do you guys define purpose?
Well, I'm going to start real quick. I'm going to say, first of all, what you said is very good because I was watching a Jocko Willink podcast, and he was talking about when he was a Navy SEAL commander and officer, he was responsible for taking care of his crew, and then when he retired, his purpose, I guess, evaporated at that point, but then he found a new purpose by then caring for his family. So you know what I mean? So I feel like, especially men in general, they're driven by purpose. That's kind of their motives in life. Whereas females, I've studied gender roles and everything like that. Females are kind of driven more by emotion and love. So their purpose are to provide children and care. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, a woman can always have another purpose with a career, a goal, and ambition. It doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? So I think it's a great thing that you said that you can have multiple purposes. Totally agree on that part. I would look at purpose as, I think it's kind of like discovering your gift. So picture it like it's treasure. So think of it like that, and you're kind of just wiping away the sand until it becomes clear. You know what I mean? And once you find your treasure chest, got that one right. So once you find that, it's like you open it, and it's just all these beautiful things that you have within you to go out and get. Now,
like your golden scar and your chug jug.
Oh yeah,
yep. All that.
Yeah, hey, but there you go. Those are your gifts, right?
Shut up. So I'm saying though,
I'm sorry. I saw the opportunity and I took it.
All right. What I'm trying to get at is the purpose of things is very appealing, but the path to purpose is what makes people not chase their purpose. Am I right with that? What do you guys? That's just my observation. I've always have known that I am capable of being a good student in school. I'm capable of being physically fit. Even just talking to people and about life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always had that within me. It's just there was a lot of shit I had to go through first to even chase the path of my purpose. Do you know what I mean? It's a psychology major. I got to go through a lot of school. You know what I mean? It's not too easy. So I was talking to my mom the other day, and coincidentally, I was kind of just laughing. So I don't mean to talk about it again, but I just did really well on a couple of my midterms, and it was very ironic to me because in high school I was going to dinner. I was going out to dinner if I got a 70 on a midterm. Like that was like, oh, Jesus glory, man. That like we're having a party, we're having a pizza party. Ryan got a C on a midterm. Like, so I know I'm on the path of my purpose because things are changing. You know what I mean? I feel like you can't chase your purpose when nothing in your life changes. That's where sacrifice comes into. And I was thinking about this yesterday. You know what I mean? Like when people talk about chasing success or your purpose, success is achieving your purpose. Let's call it that. It's so difficult, and people label it as making sacrifices because you have to change in order to reach that. There's like a whole, I guess, dilemma behind it, but I'll shut up and let Miles go.
Yeah, I was about to say you're talking too much. Anyway, so yes, so purpose to me is, once again, it's really your gifts in life that, whether you discovered it or not, like that's what you were meant to do. That's what God sent you here to do, you know what I mean? And like Ryan said, Brett, I do like what you said about having multiple purposes. So it's
Mhm.
funny. So I know you guys all read The Way of the Superior Man. I don't know if you guys remember that one chapter where he talked about, you say like you plateau trying to pursue one purpose, or it comes to a quote unquote end, you branch off and you may find a different path. I believe that's just all a part of growth. And I never really believed that, like, especially at this age, right, that there's one purpose. Like, we still have multiple paths that we can take to still help this main purpose. It's almost like a side. It's almost like a side quest, right?
Mhm.
We do certain things to help benefit this purpose. Or to some people, it may not even be their purpose. They branch out and go find something else. But that first path that they were on helped benefit the path that they are on now. So yeah, I believe that there is multiple purposes, but I think purpose to me, once again, is like what Ryan said, just like your gifts that you have discovered or you haven't. So
It's like
Mhm.
you gotta close a door to open a door. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
For me, I'll give an example of my life. Like, I thought my purpose was originally soccer. That was the thing I played most of my life. Thought that was what I was created to be. Then lifes, and then I find out it's not my purpose. I get into psychology, really, really like it. Who knows? This may not even actually be my purpose, but it will serve to a future purpose, and it will serve me well when I, develop healthy relationships. I provide influence on other people. Do you know what I mean? So my reasonings and actions for what I'm pursuing can benefit other people too, besides just myself. And I feel like when people chase a purpose, people are very, I guess, narrow-minded with it because they think that when they chase their purpose, they're doing it for them. But you become such a better person when you're aiming at something. You also provide benefit to other people. I feel like I've become a much better son, brother, cousin, friend, um, while I've been chasing my purpose. So, I mean,
Mhm.
what do you guys think about that? Because I know, I mean, our podcast right now, I mean, we're going at this because we believe it's a purpose in our life. We have
Mhm.
reason to believe that. I mean, what would you guys say?
I would have to like I totally agree what you're saying is I think the idea of just chasing something, whether that's, starting a business, working on this podcast, wanting to become a doctor, just chasing something, doing that using like your potential and being productive with it, I think that's just a huge thing. It's sort of like it stacks.
Hmm.
It's not just like benefiting you, other people are benefiting from it. So that's what I see.
How would you, what I'm trying to, I guess, ask, I like what you said, but in your own life, like, who do you, like, see um, benefit from the changes you've made? Because I mean, we've all changed. I think we've
Hmm.
all grown as people. I mean, I
Yeah.
think again, I think I became a better son. I got to understand,
Hmm.
my role in my family a lot more. Um, I feel like I became a better friend, somebody who always expects the best from people in his circle.
Yeah.
Those are just some things that I feel like I've improved on while just chasing my purpose. So that's what I was kind of getting at. Like, what do you think you've improved on, Brett? I think, I mean, from just this podcast, I think you've become very, very driven, somebody who's dependable, reliable,
Hmm.
trustworthy, all these things, just as a friend point of view. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, so like I have two people, so my mom really has benefited from me starting this whole podcast, and she really takes into what we say, and it's kind of resparked her. I got fitness journey now, so
Jersey.
Jersey. No, cut that out. But no, she's really like gotten into that again, trying to stay healthy, getting like nice on her diet, and even like Ben Gordon. Shout out to Ben, but he really takes count of sort of this work. And I told him, since Gibby, you were telling me to do it for the longest time, journaling. I literally told him like, listen, like I journal every night. It's awesome. And he's taken some. You know, he took that. He took food for thought pretty much, and was like, hey man, like, really got me thinking now. All the stuff you're sort of saying, like in this in our podcast and in conversations separately, like, you're really, changing my thoughts and see like creating different perspectives. So
I think I've obviously improved in myself, but like you said, Ryan, I've definitely improved as a son, improved as a
Mm.
friend, improved as a cousin. I think it really, mainly my mom, I guess you can say too, because she watches it a lot. Even my grandma, my grandpa passed away when I was a sophomore, so she's really kind of by herself. So I think her hearing me kind of, step up and, say all these positive things, I know it touches her, because, you know, it's really good to have somebody in your life to say these things to you, even though it's
Mm.
not really direct. It's still being,
Yeah.
you're still getting the message, is what I'm saying. My grandpa's not around anymore, so she doesn't really hear it as much anymore. But I like to, still keep pushing that positive message towards her to, help her out. But even my mom, too. My mom has been through a lot. Some people in my family have been through a lot. So I think it really affects them positively, with the message that not even just me, like I give credit to you guys too. Like the message that we put out, I think it's really good. And even my friends, even people that I'm not friends with, I have people come up to me and they're like, "Yo, your podcast is really good," and I'm like, "Thank you." Kids on my floor, kids I see at the gym, kids I see at the union. So it's just really good to see that you have an impact on somebody's life. It makes me smile during the day. So.
And that's sort of the benefit from this too, from chasing this purpose. That's just another factor that comes with it. And
Mhm.
Gibby, I want to draw back on a point you made earlier,
Hmm.
where it was like, why does it have to be so quick and easy? I think that's sort of like the norm now is, I want this now. I want it quick and easy. How to get a six pack fast, how to make the most money quick. It's just
5 minute abs, man.
it's
How to get abs
why
in
does it have to be
5 minutes?
why does it have to be quick and easy? Why can't it a sacrifice of 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, however long to sort of get
Be-
to where you're at? It's crazy to me, but go ahead.
because this generation, with the amount of resources and the amount of cheat codes that we have in today's lifetime, people look at all these paths, right? Your purpose, your path to your purpose, as something that's too hard, too much work. You know what I mean? So like, because once again, 5 minute ab workout, somebody is more likely to take that video over something that's going to take you maybe like a year, but the results are like insane. You know why? Because it's 5 minutes, right? I just think that's the way this generation works, especially with technology. You see all these, and companies obviously they like bait people too. Like half the time, this stuff doesn't work. Like, what is it? Like, how people get like those thermo things. Like Celsius is a good example. They claim to have like this thermogenic thing to help burn fat. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It really doesn't work. So I mean, just stuff like that. But
Mhm.
Yo, sub me in because I got some shit to say.
Let's
So,
hear it.
number one, the human mind is designed to just take the least path of resistance, especially our generation. I don't know if it
mm,
was Miles or Brett who said that, but this generation, with the resources available, it's inevitable, and it's only going to continue. I mean, look at Chegg, for instance. Chegg has basically every answer known to mankind for any exam. So, if you have an online exam and you pay for Chegg, I mean,
you
just
pass
celebrate. You're getting enough
Chat
B
GPT
points.
too. That new Chat
Yeah.
AI thing.
The AI
That
thing,
thing
yeah.
is the reason why. That thing is going to be the reason why kids are going to get stupider. It's going to sound controversial as hell, but
Mm,
like
you're not wrong.
you can't argue with that, because if a kid isn't putting in the work to actually teach himself how to do a certain material, and he's having a robot do it, hypothetically speaking, right? So say you cheat off all the homeworks on Chat AI or whatever, and your exam's lockdown browser, right? You're you're screwed. You're screwed because
Yeah.
you didn't take the time to teach yourself. You relied on a robot, and sometimes that robot isn't even accurate half the time. So you get frustrated that it's not accurate, and you get frustrated that you didn't teach yourself it. So really, the real question comes down to: are you going to be lazy, or are you going to continue to use, artificial intelligence to really get stuff done? Because honestly, that's what the future is looking like right now.
I think it's fine to combat it half and half. I mean, if there's just classes that are totally irrelevant to what you're trying to pursue, that's fine. I mean, as long as you're smart about it, like it's not gonna ever come back up and resurface. Like for me, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I look into Google too much for my a little more than I'd like to for my intro to film class because I mean I'm not going to be, a producer or anything like that or What are they called? What are they
Hmm.
called? Directors.
What?
Cut that out.
Directors?
Cut that out. I'm not going to be a director. I'm not going to be a director. So
Hmm.
there's really no benefit from that. But anyways, I'm
Okay,
gonna
that I understand.
yeah.
Hmm.
But anyways, I'm gonna go all the way back now to what we were originally talking about, the purpose. I
Mhm.
think another thing that really drives people away from purpose is that they know it will be an adjustment, and that adjustment will be uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I have I've been reading a lot about motivational books and how to just find kind of drive within you. And I was also watching, I mean, I watch it every day. So I mean, I was watching another Joe Rogan episode, and I was watching John Jones as a guest. He
Mm.
was talking about this kind of thing he went through in 2010, 2011. Calls it his kind of like spiritual awakening, where he was fascinated with understanding the power of the mind.
Mm.
How powerful, I guess, self confidence can be, and um, self belief. So I kind of once he said that, I was like, whoa, that's kind of like how I feel right now. You know what I mean? So I mean, reading "Can't Hurt Me," David Goggins' book. I really started to understand that the journey may be uncomfortable at points. There's going to be points where I question if this is even my purpose, but it's through those moments of questionability. Can I endure this? Can I really put up with this? Where you really learn a lot about yourself. And that's what scares people, is because people are comfortable with who they are right now. You know what I mean? He talks about this in literally every chapter. When he's going through Navy SEAL training, and he asks like, why am I here right now? What am I doing? I could be at home comfortable right now. That's that's what the human mind is designed to do. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it's those people that will never tap into their truest form of a human being. And I just think it's a sad thing that people don't even know the magic that they have within themselves, because they're very, very comfortable with who they are as a person currently.
Hmm.
I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I mean, I want to die. All right, my life is like a wet towel rag. I want to die with that shit being as dry as possible. So that way I have no regret. I know I squeezed out everything I had. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And not only will I feel my best by doing that, but I think it'll benefit other people around me, like it's already been doing. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about before. Um, I'm interested though, because I'm into visualization as well. How do you guys kind of picture your life? For me, I just said it was a towel rack, but like, is it like a marathon? Is it kind of like climbing up a mountain? What is it like to you guys?
So I'll go first. I also want to just piggyback on the last point you made. I think that comes with regret too that people face as well, like not
Mhm.
knowing their true full potential leads
Until it's
to
too late.
until it's too late. And that's what another thing I know us three we don't want to do that. We want to be live up to our most potential and live all of our purposes and accomplish all of those things. I do see it as climbing up a mountain and just you're still climbing it, not at the top yet, and then just finally you're there, but you're not there. It's like there's still more to climb. That's kind of how I look at it.
I
I
do like
agree.
that towel idea. I really do.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
I'm trying to think of something like a marathon too. Like, are you gonna quit? Like, do you remember how when David Goggins ran what was that? That damn, he ran like this insane marathon where it was like across a desert, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Didn't he do
The
that? It's
136-mile race.
or whatever it is, right? But like,
Well, he
life is
ran a
almost
bunch,
like
but I know
that.
which one you're talking about.
Yeah, life is like that almost, right? It's a long marathon, and it's gonna suck at points because I'm pretty sure I heard of something where he like wanted to quit at one point, right? But he's not done yet. You gotta finish that first. That's kind of how I look at it. Like
It's
once you're done, oh god,
it's just oh no, it's a saying that he talks about a lot, and it's don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. You know what I mean?
right,
Mm.
That's
Yes.
right,
that's
exactly.
how it should be. You know what I mean? People stop when they're tired. People kind of stop when they feel that like
Because I think
Yeah.
burning.
being tired is also like that's all mental. You know what I mean? This doesn't really relate to this, but I heard a quote from the forgot what the women's basketball coach's name is, but he had said when good players get tired, great players kick their ass, and that's something that I think is a really good quote, and he said it best honestly. When people that are really grounded and have a really good mind and like are very like stoics almost pretty much, right? Those are the great players, right? And they don't get tired. They're gonna do whatever they possibly can to get to their goal. Whereas good players, right? They want to pursue that goal. They're working towards it, but they one little inconvenience and they crumble. So I kind of related to that almost, but I think that's a great quote that kind of relates to it. Not really. It's more for sports, but like you guys get the idea almost.
Another thing I'm gonna get in because I think if you even identify your purpose, you're gonna have a little bit of motivation. You know what I mean? I don't even know if there's a term, but I'll think of it kind of like beginner's motivation when you're like, oh, whoa, all you know.
Oh, is that like little like jolt of like excitement
Yeah,
you get at like
Jolt of
3
excitement,
a.m.
yeah.
Like
I
I'm
call it. I'm gonna summarize it for most people. I feel like it's just a 2 week period where you're really, really motivated, but you burn yourself out.
Mm.
You have this motivation, you talk your shit, your life's about to change, and then you just throw in the white flag when you start actually getting like I don't know how to even explain it when you kind
When
of
you
get that
realize that it sucks. When you
yeah
realize
when
it
you get
sucks.
that uncomfortable feeling where like shit, I'm gonna have to do a lot more of this. Like I'm nowhere near where I thought I would be. I have to learn. Same thing even when we started this podcast. We were all talking like right around this time. You know what I mean? Like when we first started late October, we were like, "Oh my God, guys, we're gonna be going to Miami. It's gonna be
Oh,
awesome."
Miami, LA, we're gonna be going to conventions. Like shit.
Like it's not that easy. It's just, are you willing to do it, and can you trust your vision? And that's exactly what it is. People have no self trust before they pursue a purpose. For me, though, I believe I'm different and I'm a wild card because I just got all three of us though. We all fit under this category. We have gone through some shit. You know what I mean? We have
Yeah.
been through some
Not
shit.
easy shit either, bro. Not easy shit
Exactly.
either.
Exactly.
Uh,
But we know that we can do it and that things are temporary. And a lot of people don't understand that that little burning sensation isn't going to last forever. It's not. And I watched the 52 deck of cards motivational video probably 1,000 times on YouTube of Ray Lewis speaking
oh, is
about
that the Ray Lewis thing?
it until it became just embedded in my subconscious where whenever you get that little thought, that little subconscious instinct to go, I'm done, I can't, that thought now overrides it. And that's drive. You're just driven. It's in your subconscious. You think about it every day. That's when you know it's your purpose. And that's a question that I just wanted to answer real quick is I know people ask, well, how do I even know what my purpose is? It's when you have a sense of drive that overrides your temptations to quit. You know what I mean? I wanted to start, it's going to
Yeah.
be hilarious to even bring it up. I wanted to start a hat company last summer.
Oh
And
my
I
god.
thought that was
Oh
my
my
purpose. I remember like in business, man, I was
god.
like, ooh. But
Blue
it was just,
boy.
okay, so what I'll break it down though. What I had was motivational instincts to make a change. And I had a 2 week rule phase. So I applied myself for 2 weeks, getting into hats, and then I just quit because number one, I never had a sense of drive for it, and number two, I burnt myself out. So then I took more time. I learned a lot more about how successful people even function and how they even identify purpose. So then when it came to school and I switched my major to a psych major, and me and Brett originally had first talked, this is stomping grounds of the library at Westfield State in like late September,
Yeah.
where we discussed, hopping on one of our guests, Devon Thompson's podcast that he was eventually going to set up. We were thinking, oh yeah, we'll just wait then. And then you were the one who said, how about we just do our own? Like fuck it, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And then when we started applying ourselves to it, and I had the little, burning sensation, I'm like, oh, all right, well, a lot's going to have to start changing. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be as close with all these kids anymore that I used to be friends with. I'm not going to be able to go on my phone this much. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to go out. I'm not going to be able to whatever. Are you willing to sacrifice things for your purpose? You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about before. You have to make adjustments. Are they too uncomfortable where, you're not really into it? And once you make those changes, I guess, can you trust your drive? Because think of it like this, David Goggins. I mean, I always talk about him, but he says, a lot when you exercise. He asks, do you listen to music when you exercise, or can you go without it? If you can go without it, that means you're driven. You don't need a stimulant to motivate you. Does that make sense? I feel like a lot of people need stimulants nowadays to keep themselves preoccupied, motivated, whatever you call it. Even distracted, I would call it distraction from the temptations of quitting. But when you can rely on just your thoughts, your ambitions, your whys, I mean, when you start, you have a why. You know what I mean? You have a reason to do it, whether it's money, whether it's for your own self-passion, for your family, whatever it may be. Can you rely on those to keep you going? And I think that's exactly what I do. I mean, journaling definitely helps me. I reflect all the time on my old journals, how I used to think, what I used to think. And I'm like, wow, I have grown so much more since, and I'm going to grow so much more after this journal that I write tomorrow or today. You know what I mean? In 3 months, I'm going to look back at this one, and I'm going to be like, whoa. I just want a never-ending cycle of growth throughout this journey of life.
I do agree with what you said, Ryan. I do wanted to bring up a quick thing real quick because I know you wanted to talk about it just before we wrap up here. But do you guys believe there's a spiritual guidance in terms of your purpose? Or like has to do with your purpose, being purpose driven?
I would definitely I think so, yeah. I think many people, whether that's religion can be a big factor to sort of, I gotta do this purpose, or I gotta fulfill my purpose because of how dedicated they are to their religion. And also, maybe they had a family member pass away, sort of that belief they're there with me spiritually. I want to make them proud. That's how I look at it. But yeah,
I think having belief in some kind of force above you to kind of like trust I would say this more of like when you feel like giving up in anything. For me, when I was really, really depressed, I mean, even though I didn't believe in God, all my family did. And just having that in like my subconscious mind really made me believe like, okay, I mean, there's a reason why this is happening. It can lead to something way better. And just trusting that things will work out is very big.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good. That's good. I think the exact same thing, like Brett said, in terms of having a family member or like there being like a higher power almost. I definitely think it plays a role in not even just like when you're about to give up. I think there's always that little voice or that energy I should say, that you feel around you when you're going out and about through your day-to-day life. I feel like it's always there. You may not always notice it, but I always think, I'm not saying you like hear voices in your head and shit, but I'm saying like there's always there's just always something there, you know what I mean? And it's almost like this may not affect you guys as heavily, but like more for people that are like religious. They always believe that there's always something, that person on their shoulder, right? That's kind of helping them and guiding them throughout day-to-day life. That almost like, I guess, I'm here for a reason, or I did this for a reason. Everybody looks at it differently, but like that's kind of like my viewpoint on it.
Yeah, I think also too, even if you don't believe in a God or a religion, you're still believe in a message. Everyone has a message, as David Goggins said it. I saw a recent clip. He says everyone has a message for themselves. So whether it's religion, your family, or just people you don't even on the internet doing like a motivational speakers, stuff like that. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you're always notified of when we upload. And also click right here. We just did a video talking about overthinking and ways to conquer overthinking. And again, you can also find the audio version of this podcast. Links will be down below in the description, as well as our social medias. We hope you all have a great day, and until next time.